Hello Virgo, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Virgo for the week of September 19th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Go and see what we have here for you, Virgo. Now I am using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, the Ethereal Visions Tarot, as well as the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right. Do hope you're doing well. Hope things are going good for you. Make sure we're all set up here and in view, and then we'll get right into it. All right. All right, I think that's looking just about good enough to me. I guess we'll take 4 of these oracle cards here. All right, energy on the bottom, you have the Tower. So the Tower does represent potentially upheavals or changes in one's life. However, I really do love to look at the Tower as a blessing in disguise. The people falling from the Tower didn't have a way out. You can notice here on the Tower, there are no doors here, meaning they didn't have a way out of this situation, but now they do. And so when you get the Tower, it does say that, yes, the house of cards is collapsing, but who wants to live in a house of cards? The thing is, this can say that there's maybe something that is in your life or that was in your life that was unstable, or there's instability. I'm just blaming it. I'm going to blame it on the Mercury retrograde here, Virgo, but there was instability in your life, or there was something that you were there's something that was just not supporting you. And I guess like a false sense of security is what you could think when you look at the Tower. But the thing is, you don't want to be in that situation for long anyway. And so you get to view this if you want. If you choose to. Again, this is your choice. But you choose to view that as a net benefit instead of a net negative. And so it is one of these cards that a lot of people freak out about. But, if I'm looking here, you have a very good reading. And in fact, I think the worst is behind you is the kind of energy that I get from this kind of my first glance here, from the initial sort of look that I've taken here. And I think the worst is behind you. So let's just expand on that some more. But in the overall situation, you have the 6 of Swords. This is a transition, okay? They literally have their back turned towards the challenges and the losses here, which you have the 5 of Swords and the 6 of Swords in the same column. We're going to talk about that more as we go along, but this is the idea that whatever loss or struggle that you have gone through, you are now turning over a new leaf. You are now being guided. You are now going in a new direction. You're going to new places, going on new journeys. And the idea here is that this person is, instead of sailing on choppy waters, they are sailing on calming waters. They're sailing on stable waters. And that is the idea of the 6 of Swords. This can say that there's something new, there's a fresh start or something new here in your life. And so I feel like for some of you here with this Tower on the bottom, it is possible, there's this saying or this phrase that I heard a while ago earlier this year, which is sometimes we have to fall to rise. And sometimes the tower has to collapse in order to build a better tower, or build a tower that actually has a firm foundation or a stable foundation. And I feel like some of you are maybe looking at kind of having that sort of situation happen for you at this time. In the past, you have the Ace of Swords, you have the 5 of Cups, and the 8 of Swords here. So definitely there was something that you were in the dark about. And I say that because you have this 8 of Swords here. You can see the blindfold symbolism on this person. You can also see that they're sort of wrapped up here, and this represents the fact that they are trapped or imprisoned in their mind, in their thoughts. When you get the 8 of Swords, it can say, though, there is a solution available, but you have to first do what you need to do to unwrap yourself or unravel yourself here. and take off this blindfold so that you can see the solution. Now, in the past, by the way, I don't think this tower moment is happening now or in the future. I think that this has probably already happened to you. And I think what you're doing now is recognizing that the worst is behind you and you're kind of going somewhere new. You have positive cards here in the future and in the current situation. But in the past here, there was something that felt like a collapse in your life. I do feel like this could have been related to maybe a relationship with this Five of Cups here. As you see, that this Five of Cups can represent disappointments. The spilled cups are a symbol of disappointments or sadness in the tarot. The Five of Cups is a card of sadness. But for some of you, this could have been relationship related. For others of you, we're not getting a ton of cups cards here. In fact, we have one cup card here. So I think for others of you, this wasn't exactly about romantic relationships. It might have been something to do with, I'm looking at all of these swords, something to do with communication, maybe an argument, maybe something that you thought was working out that just wasn't working out for you, because the sword suit represents your thought process and your thoughts generally. And so I do think that there was something, it's like there was like a processing error, or there was like an error in what you thought was happening. And it turns out that something else was actually going on. And this might not be in relationship. It could be in any area of your life. You do have this Ace of Swords, which is a breakthrough here. The thing is, you recognize that in the past that something just wasn't happening, and the combination of the Ace of Swords and the Tower, this is like a sudden insight, foresight, or breakthrough that you may have come to as a result of this challenging situation. In the current situation, you have the Five of Swords, you have the Six of Swords, and you also have the Page of Wands here. So I think that it's very telling of this reading that you have the Five of Swords and the Six of Swords together here in this reading. And, these cards come one after the other. You have them together in this column. And again, I love the symbolism of having your back turned towards the defeat. Again, I think you recognize that the worst is behind you and you're ready to move into a better place or a better period of your life. You're transitioning into something new here. And so really like that for you. Five of Swords, it can be about defeats, loss, challenges, conflicts. But the thing is, the Five of Swords is a card that makes you stronger. And the reality is that as a human, we have to deal with conflicts. Like, that is something that we have signed up for, unfortunately, in this lifetime. And it doesn't mean that they're fun. It doesn't mean that they're comfortable, but we do have to, it's part of the experience, right? I don't know anybody who hasn't dealt with a conflict. It's how you respond to the conflict that is what is so important. And again, I think some of you maybe even have acquired a new perspective as a result of some sort of challenge or some sort of difficulty here. Something that you thought was stable coming down, like false belief. Yeah, false belief is what I think I've been trying to communicate this entire time. There was something that you were sure of that just turned out to not be, that was not the case. You had a false belief around something in your life. And that is so challenging to deal with. It is so challenging to see, something that we have invested our time in or invested emotional energy into, and we strongly believed in. It's tough to see that kind of collapse or fall out. And I do think that is sort of what happened. But again, this is also leading to a transition to a new kind of energy for you. You have the Page of Wands here, which is about good news potentially arriving in your life. It can represent job offers, strong communication, and it can represent, it's like excitement, energy, it's getting fired up. It is good news generally. It's a big card of job offers or job opportunities. Some of you may have lost a job in the past, which is not fun to do. Definitely something that is challenging. And the thing is, the Page of Wands, though, can suggest that there are opportunities on the horizon for you. Now, in the future, you have the Chariot, you have the Three of Pentacles, and you also have the Justice card here. And so definitely love these 3 cards to wrap out this reading. So the thing is, at the end of the day, all parties get the outcome they deserve is what the Justice card is all about. And this says that this is a card of karma. This is all about the actions that you take and how the actions that you take, how they balance out the scales in your life. And this also refers to the actions that other people take as well. And so if there's somebody that backstabbed you, or if there's somebody that just pulled the wool over your eyes, if you will, I think that's the expression, just know that this will all work out. And I don't say that to disparage, the other person or to wish harm on the other person, but I am saying that there is a natural law and order to everything in the universe, and to just keep that in mind here. And you have this big victory energy showing up with the Chariot. Chariot is all about self-discipline that leads to a victory. Again, I think on your mind, you recognize here that there's a new perspective available to you. You do have the 3 of Pentacles. This may mean that you are moving to a new job, or you're getting new colleagues, or you're getting new teammates. And I also think some of you are ready to move into service as well. This person's like being of service to these other 2 people, as you can see on the cards. And so I think that some of you are also kind of working with that type of energy as well. Let's go and take a look at these 3 oracle cards here, or 4. You got 4. So, okay. All right. So you have, let's see if I can do this. All right. So you have the Shekinah, sacred self, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance the sacred rhythm of life. You have faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. And then you also have Melchizedek, higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. And then you have Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. So these cards are both about like teaching and learning. And it's almost like some of you are going through the school of life right now. You're studying at the school of life. And I think that this experience that you've had, where this idea of like sometimes we need to fall to rise, I think that this has taught you something extremely important. And there is this sort of teacher, maybe teacher mentor energy as well, or like, something like that going on here. I think some of you are also moving into service as well, like you're being of service to others, maybe through YouTube, through some sort of like other outlet or avenue. Let's go and take a look at the clarifications here. But if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the Artist, you have the Queen of Pentacles, you have the 6 of Cups, you have the Justice card, you have Temperance, and 4 of Swords. Okay, so the Artist is an oracle card in this Ethereal Visions deck. There are two oracle cards in this deck. The Artist is like connecting to the creative energy around you and kind of working in harmony with the universe to create something, communing with the universe. If you've done any sort of creative work, you know that it's not just about doing the work, it's not just about having the skill, it's about like kind of co-creating with the universe. And that could have shown up in the Tower moment. Like, it's like when we go through challenges, it kind of exposes the fact that there is always support available to us. And I do feel like there's this idea of like co-creation here that you've been engaged in as a result of some sort of change, challenge, or false belief that you may have had about a person or a situation, but this has allowed you to co-create. And I think that this has moved you into a deeper level of service as well at this time. The Justice card is coming in twice here. Definitely karma here showing up on the board. And, this is the idea that as long as you are taking appropriate action and you are doing what you know is right, everything will work out. Okay. And so, but if you, on the other hand, if you are engaging in lower vibrational energy, that also gives you the appropriate action. That gives you the appropriate outcome, is what I should say. And so, none of us are perfect. We've all done something lower vibrational, if you will, in our lives at some point, right? Nobody is perfect. And so lessons learned. And it's like, I feel like saying like, For some of you, it's like maybe you failed and it's like, oh, you failed, fail again. Like fail again, fail until you learn what it is that you need to learn from this situation. Okay? A lot of people are afraid of failure, and failure is really an opportunity to learn and to get better and to grow stronger. And, you know, I don't know if it's you who failed or somebody else, but I do think that there's something around a false belief that feels like scary to you. That was revealed. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the Temperance card. The Queen of Pentacles is all about practicality, hard work, smart decisions financially. The Temperance card is Sagittarius energy. It is, you have Libra energy too, the Justice card, sign of Libra. And then, you know, the Temperance card is Sagittarius. Queen of Pentacles could be any earth sign. But Temperance card is about sort of like harmony, balance. There's something about co-creation here that is coming in for you at this time, Virgo. By the way, I think that this really works out for you in the long run. I think that obviously this reading was a little challenging, but it seems to work out for you. The Six of Cups and the Four of Swords, healing from something from the past, or healing something from the past here with whatever false belief was kind of exposed here. You're definitely healing through that situation. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.